morning, everyone. My name is Sandy from D3. What do you think about the right of free speech and free thinking? The topic for today is people should have the right of free speech because free speech promotes free thinking. My purpose today is telling you about why we should have the right of free speech, and I want everyone to realize about being thought controlled from newspeak in the book 1984. That is not just only creating words, but also eliminating or limiting vocabularies. The information today will involve about the book 1984 from George Orwell. I will tell you 3 reasons why we should have the right of free speech. Let's start with the first reason. Everyone has their own thought, freedom of doing and speech. In Thailand today, most of the population have their own thought. Some people don't choose to come out and not say what they think, and still follow the government's policy. But some people do the opposite. They come out to say what they think and against the government for what they disagree with. For example, Sam, Winston's friend from the Newspeak department, in the book 1984, he works for Inner Party and he is loyal and support to the party. But he is too intelligent, he sees too clearly and speaks too openly. He said that nobody makes thought crimes possible because people won't have the words to think the crime except the prose. So, in this part, we will relate with the sentence that Winston had said. If there was hope, it must lay in the prose. Because he thought that these labels had feelings and life, like the general human, more than being thought controlled like another classes. And for this reason, Sam was vaporized. Because they knew that which group of people would start a fight against the Inner Party. The second reason is the population is not authorized to have the right of free speech and thinking. That is using the power to the lower class, being not authorized to have the freedom of speech and thinking. That is good for the dictator. The process of thinking, belief, and the feeling of individuals for accept collectness. For the dictator, that shows the population in authoritarian government had to have thinking attitude. For the richer powers is always correct for the peace, for the solution of the problems such as violence and conflict, and for the returning happiness to the people in the country. As shown in International Article website, the people who have different opinions and against the government, they have to adjust their attitude. And the people who believe in the freedom, the equality, and the power is belong to the population. These are the fantastical thinking. For example, if we compare with the schools in Thailand, a group of people that get benefit in this part is the directors. That are like the Inner Party. They have policies and controlling in their own attitude. And teachers that are like the Outer Party. They always follow the order from the directors. And students that are like the pros. They don't have the freedom to oppose or agree. They are thought, controlled, and blocked. That is the main factor of using the power to the lower class. And the last reasons for today is freedom of speech is essential to convey thoughts. Thoughts are out of control. If we are controlled about using languages, it will be a cause that makes us don't have words to make up our thinking. According to Thai Publica, people have words that will act their thinking, living life, and be aware of those who have the power of the government. As many as the government foresee that is essential and should to have, people will have only way to talk and think that is in the way of government, and they see that it will have benefit to have the power in their own government. For example, Newspeak, the official language of Oceania. Newspeak is creating words, eliminating or limiting vocabularies by inner party. They believe if the fewer words you have, the fewer people think and the more stupid, so they can control easily. For this part make me think about Thailand in 19th century, that the Prime Minister ordered to improve the culture and language. Before we finish this clip, I want to conclusion everything that I told you. Today, for the first reason is everyone has their own thought. Did you remember that there is a group of people came out to say and against the government? And I gave an example in the book 1984 that relate about this reason. I also mentioned some characters that they were in this book. And the next one is about being not authorized to have the freedom of speech and thinking for population. I told you this lesson was good for the dictator, and I compare between schools in Thailand and the classes in the book 1984. And the last one is about the essential of speech can convey thoughts, being controlled about language, and I also said about the Newspeak. How did Newspeak work and compare with Thailand in 19th centuries? So for now, you have known about why people should have the right of free speech. You can choose the way that you want to be for your life. And you can also do or say anything that you want to, because your thought is free. If we have the right of free thinking, we will also have the right of free speech. Thank you for your attention.